It's about 12:10 a.m. Tuesday, January 23rd, 2018. I had an epiphany, and those who know me well know I've had visions of the future before they happen. When I was listening to Elton John, thank you for your Surrey message. You're a rock star, dude. Someone saved my life tonight. I was doing something I've done for decades. I had a speaker blaring music of one of my favorite songs, Elton John, Someone Saved My Life Tonight. And I was singing at the top of my lungs, and I was just watching life around me on the Venice boardwalk. And also singing other rock music, or music, not even rock, some classical, some Lady Gaga, Adele, in Santa Monica, and I just sometimes watch people's reactions. Sometimes it's like thumbs up, other times it's just like, what, who is this? And so at some point I should probably videotape that before I go, and not so much for your value, but just for my memories, as I'm leaving my country soon and leaving Hollywood soon. And it's heartbreaking because I've always wanted to be here since childhood, since I began in the industry at age 10. And I've never really wanted to leave here. I've traveled the world, and I enjoy traveling the world, doing television and film, and the other things I've been asked to do by my government, other things I've voluntarily done for my government because it was the right thing to do at the time. Because the choices he gave me were nil to fucking none. Oh, sorry. Anywho. Focus. And tonight, when I had that epiphany, which I don't think I've ever shared publicly with the world, that when I get strong emotions or feelings and tell people you should, avoid this, that, or the other thing, it's usually not because I'm guessing. I'm a master of logistics. I'm a master of technology, sciences, research, development, and a lot of other things. I have spent my life mostly awake because I know I have an eternity to sleep, which is a quote you can find on my IMDb page, as well as I have backups for backups for backups, because we're live, we're never down, and many other quotes. Some that have been published, others that have been published and not requoted, and I don't know that it really matters. The point is that, how's your evening? It's been, blessed tonight. Thanks for asking. Have a blessed evening. Anywho, I mean, as a child, I tried to shut it off at one point because I would see things like my dad had a bad accident, people ended up dead. I saw it when it happened. I woke up screaming, and my mom came in and was like, she said, bad dream, go back to sleep. I was just a child. Then the phone rang, and she ran and picked it up, and I heard sobbing and crying, oh my God, and she hung up and ran into the room and woke me up. How did you know? It's because I saw it before it happened, or as it happened, or usually before. Obviously, I mean, that wasn't before. It was probably as, or maybe after it happened, who knows. I mean, I remember trying to be in the car waking my dad up. That's how much I reached out to him as I saw the dream. I have been blessed to master time and achieve things that people in my government are still trying to figure out, that most people would think I'm insane for even suggesting, but time can be altered if you know how to. Anyway, it's a gift. I have been blessed with many gifts: a marvelous voice, high intellect, the ability to produce others, direct others, run network broadcast facilities, do worldwide broadcasts, host worldwide broadcasts, produce major events and rock concerts, work with the A-list of entertainment. I've also done a lot of humanitarian stuff and diplomatic missions for my government that, in somewhat agreement with them, the world will never know about because it was that high level. But let's just say I am the only person I know in my lifetime that 58, nearly 59 in May of this year, May 31st, that has ever accomplished a ceasefire in a war for 4 days where we shipped in food and medicine with UN peacekeeping troops. If there is that person, I need to meet them. We have a 12-step meeting I need to do. Because the hell you go through in negotiating something like that through the United Nations and the White House and the protocol and diplomacy and all the other stuff that goes with that is a nightmare. Coupled with, having to get all your celebrity friends to pitch into an event and get a network to broadcast and get people to put up money. It was a lot of work, but we raised a lot of money for UNICEF and stopped a war and got a ceasefire for 4 days. And for years, I never felt the full impact of that until this past year when I actually met someone from Sandinista, Nicaragua war area. And he was old enough that I said, hey, do you ever remember a time when there was a ceasefire in your war with the drug cartels? Of course, I wasn't crying then. When the war stopped for 4 days and all this food and medicine and clothes came in for the families. And he said, I do. He said, I was 8. He said, I've always wanted to meet the person who did that. And then I started to sob and I shook his hand. He said, thank you. You saved my family. That means more to me than anything on the planet. That I helped change lives, whether I knew them or not, wasn't the important thing. I'm not married, unfortunately. One of my lifelong goals has always ended in disaster. I've always wanted children. I don't have any. I don't do this for my legacy. I do this because I believe in doing the right thing. It's not about a race, it's not about a color, it's not about a creed, it's not about a religion. It's about at the end of time, Kurt, Joe, Edward, whatever name you've known me by, I do have multiple identities in the State Department. I did say I do diplomatic things, and oh, Christ Jesus, I've had to live in a spy world most of my life. I was born into the book of Who's for world leaders in politics and related to presidents and royalty. You don't get away from this stuff, even if you try. I tried. I wanted nothing to do with government ever. So instead of being enlisted or forced to work for government, I at least agreed to be a consultant, a contractor. Yippee-yi-yay. That gets you no privileges, all kinds of deniability, and more fuckability than people who work for the government, because they have regulations how far you can push government employees. Contractors, not so much. Anyway, I know where this is all going, whether you want to believe it or not, conspiracy theory or not. Georgia Guidestones, Illuminati planned genocide, over 7 million people by 1919. I mean, I've only read worldwide intel for everybody, Pakistan, Israel, Turkey, the United States, pick a country. Where is Uncle Kurt? Not read. They can't hire Morgan Freeman to be the voice of God for intel, because he's not classified. Kurt's cleared at the highest levels. I know more about everybody's intel than probably anybody alive on this planet. I've read your training manuals. Your diagrams, your diaphragms. Your telemetries, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, NASA, never a straight answer. Hey, how about that warp seed thing where you went into the other universe and you found 7 planets that support life like Earth, but we're not talking about it because we just want to go start fucking them up now? Boy, I'm really glad I helped you guys with quantum physics and time warp and speed and stuff. And the Aurora Borealis Project and CERN, CERN, and hey, how about HAARP, HAARP.net, and Plantex Plan in Amarillo, Texas, where we sell shit all over the planet for weapons of mass destruction, genocide. So you guys with that smart bomb where you suck the oxygen out of the region for like 12 hours and nobody can hold their breath that long while the buildings stay intact, you just incinerate all the dead shit. It's not conspiracy theory, boys and girls. They do plan to get rid of most of you. I'd like to help you save yourselves, but that's up to you. You can either believe in us and help us at disaster relief by donating to the Concert for World Peace. It's going to take a lot of money to put on this production. Uncle Kurt's putting up a lot of it, but I need your help. And we're going to also broadcast this in 360 virtual reality. So if we cut off a segment in a show that you want to see that artist, you can continue to subscribe and see that. As well as we plan to uplink from multiple locations around the world with bands, entertainers, scientists, people who can tell you about sustainable living, holistic living, coexistence, humanitarian rights, education on pure air, pure water, pure food, herbalistic cures, and other ways to coexist on planet Earth and not have to genocide anyone. It's time we stand up to those who want to get rid of the 99%. It's not a joke. You can either be part of World War III by sitting by idly, or you can take a stand and start doing random acts of kindness and help us work on the Concert for World Peace. And if you're talented, we can help with production, security, events, etc., booking. We need accountants, merchandising, things that we can sell to raise money for the Concert for World Peace. We're also doing a fashion show. Simon Chu, who is designed for Justin Bieber / American Apparel, and tons of celebrities, has agreed to help coordinate fashion. We've started to publish a list on Disaster Relief Inc. on YouTube of bands that we would love their music and songs and entertainment to be part of a celebration for world peace. We're looking to talk to countries to do outdoor venues that will host, 100,000 plus, even 1 million people, like Rio de Janeiro would be wonderful. And where we can secure it for peace, where you can't bring in devices or medications. All you can do is bring yourself in. If you need any of that, you buy it at the venue. You send us prescriptions ahead. So we make sure that nobody's, doing anything that can harm people celebrating the art, which is the heart of Earth, and the preservation of humanitarian rights and the art of life on Earth, as you know it, and as we can preserve it. This is extinction number 6. It's time you stop just reading Bibles or newspapers and start to use that thing called the internet and start to Google stuff and get to really drill down to the truth. Ignorance is a choice. Sitting by idly and letting your world leaders solve the problems of the world today is genocide. I'm suggesting that the UN form war crimes commissions immediately against the countries that are talking about World War III, such as the United States, Russia, North Korea, etc., and restore those countries back to humanitarians and people who want life on Earth, who are not benefiting from destruction. You have to understand, those who are making the bombs are the people wanting the wars, because that's how they make their money, boys and girls. And think about it. Global warming is real, but, we can hide it only so long. But if we get rid of all the people before core meltdown and we reverse the warming because all of a sudden the footprint of 7 billion people is off the planet, Yeah, that's a solution. And think of all the food and reserves of oils that they've had for billions to last them for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And let's look at it in a different aspect. If we just stop the pollution of the planet and the destruction, and we start to live cleaner with sustainable living and recycling and herbalistic cures that actually heal. Imagine if we all found a way to get along. Gosh, it almost sounds like a John Lennon song, doesn't it? Listen, I'm working on a concept for world peace. If you can help, Disaster Relief Inc. is registered with the IRS, and we work with the UN and governments around the world as an NGO, a non-government organization, working with the governments around the world for humanitarian interests. We are also a nonprofit, so donations get you deductions, however that applies to your tax statuses, etc. And we're working on a concept for world peace, and it's going to cost a lot of money to pull this off because we plan to do it from May 31st through June 6th, 2019. We need performers, we need people who are... I'm sorry, what?
Do you have a cigarette?
Yeah. Anyway, 2019, and if you can help, you can also email disasterreliefinc@gmail.com, and Inc. is INC, like a corporation. Send your donations of any kind, money, art, or other stuff, to Disaster Relief Inc. at 11,000 Wilshire Boulevard. It's number 241971, Los Angeles, California, 90024. What are you doing today for world peace?